from my perspective, if you buy a house, if you're at a position where you're thinking to buy a car or a house, that means you probably don't have enough money disposable wise, right? And I think the house can be a liability if you are not careful about what you do. For example, I call it the 3 M's. I'm not a property guru, but sometimes I say things like this. But 3 M's, right? Number one, most people forgot about when you invest in property, you have the maintenance that you got to pay for, right? Specifically condominium, you got a sinking fund, right? Service fees and so on and so forth. And then you have the management of the property. If you decided to have someone manage it, or if you have to personally manage it, even though it's not money, well, sometimes it is, but even if it's not money, your time that's being taken away, it can affect you as well. And then also the 3 M, mortgage, right? And, in an economy where, let's say there's, like for me, I'm heavily loaded in the expat area, so I'm very scared the moment next year comes, because I don't know whether Malaysia is still going to be a city, Kuala Lumpur is going to be a city where expat will still come and rent my units. So honestly speaking, I'm more concerned about my real estate over my vehicles, because my vehicle paid off. So once you paid it off, it's stress-free, because it's a shorter loan term too. So that's why that's my personal opinion. So coming from property, what do you think about the 3 M's: maintenance, management, and mortgage?
On the same trip to Penang, right? There's this friend that came and fetched me with his luxury car, right? It's a 2-door, and every time he come and fetch me, then I think he wants to impress me, but I'm again not impressed at all.
Just to be clear, Sean, is it Jonathan's Sifu, Jonathan's mentor?
no. So when I went there, when I sat on it, there was some squeaks here and there. So the first time I sat, when he took a turn, there was like some bumpy feeling, then the muffler of the exhaust. And every time he mentioned comments like that, it's 7,000 to 8,000 just to fix it. And for luxury cars, if you don't fix the minor things, the bigger problems will come, right? We all know that. So if you are in a position where you have a car, a small car to just wansik, right, cari makan ready, then you now think about, do you want to upgrade your car or to get a house? In this scenario, I will always go for a house, right? So because yes, you have the 3 M's, but the value retains. 10 years down the road, right, the value is still there, and you need not to stay yourself. You can still rent, but then you can always leverage on other people's money, other people's time, other people's knowledge to learn how to look for deals like that. But if you get a car, once you sign on the dotted lines, you drive out the showroom, it's half the value. Not half, but it depends what car you buy.
What if you buy like a pre-owned car?
Yeah, so like me, I bought a pre-owned car. So I got a hybrid, and on market value is 110, but I got it at 70. Yeah. So
awesome.
so like now, after 1 year of devaluation, I was just going to renew my insurance. It's still 68,000.
Right.
Yeah. So on a normal basis, the first 3 years, the pre-owned duration, right, took that hit of the loss already.
Right.
Yeah. So I think if you want to buy a car, there's also smarter ways to buy. And luxury cars nowadays, there's this conversation that renting one is easier than buying. You can rent a Lambo, like if you want to impress people, right? Go rent one. You can do photo shootings and posters like this, right? Go rent one. It's way easier. Yeah.
Okay. So with that said, also I think I want to share one comment that was placed in by Timothy Tia. E-scooter. I used to e-scoot to work, cheap and fast. I think John, you want to add to that? What do you think about?
He just bought a Porsche, man.
I didn't know that Porsche comes out e-scooter.
Yeah, but Timothy is a very smart guy, and he's always looking at how to optimize, right? How to optimize things. I think for Timothy, is his house and his colony is actually very near, so he can e-scoot lah. Yeah, but for if he's e-scooting from KL to, let's say, Mutiara Damansara, I don't know if he can do e-scooter so far or not.
No.
Yeah, no way.
What if it rains and a thunderstorm and stuff? Right.
Yeah.
I think there's a interesting comment here. This is a little bit long, so I'm just gonna try to show it. Car is like any investment. If it brings value to comfort, convenience, and productivity, it is a good investment. Just have to understand it requires maintenance, fuel, car park, road tax, and insurance. So to weigh the pros and cons before making that investment. I think once very interesting thing to notice. I didn't know about this, but recently I've been watching some YouTube channels, and one of the guys, their channel is called Timepiece Gentleman. One of the guy on
Oh,
that was
okay.
following him on Instagram. He recently posted that he bought a G wagon, which is the
Mm.
G series, like the what do you call it, Jeep looking Mercedes Benz. Obviously, I know nothing about cars. You can tell by now. So and apparently he made money on the car because they discontinue the engine or something like that, and then it's a very rare car because everyone wants it right now, and then it's very hard, and Mercedes cannot come up with a production quick enough, so the car actually has a bump up in value. I've never heard of this before except Ferraris, but the car actually went up like I think 30K US dollars or something like that. Have you guys ever heard about cars appreciating in value, especially new modern cars?
Yep. So like that, whatever you just said, the G wagon is like G63. So it's customized. It means that it's built by one person, and it takes around 1 to 2 years just to build one piece. That's why when you have a G63, there's a signature at the engine side. It means it's signed by the craftsman, right? That's why it's so valuable, and the waiting list is like crazy lah. And once the news of discontinuing, everybody goes crazy even, right?
Right.
Also in Malaysia, there's this subculture where people play Pajeros, then people play BMWs. So BMWs is the model before the electronic kicks in.
What do you mean
It
play? Like they
play
race
meanings
or what?
they, so it's like a hobby,
Oh,
and they
okay.
can, so they buy the car and they fix it up, and when they sell, they make money of it.
Oh, you can fix a car and make money off it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
there's
you, so
this
you add
certain
value to it.
Yeah, so there's certain modifications. They can make it really nice. So they get like a scrap car. So it's a cultural thing where they know which Mugen rims to put in, which spoiler and they need to ship in mufflers from Japan just to match the look or whatsoever. Yeah. Then even
Wow.
Pajeros, like the 90s Pajeros, when you buy, it's like 28,000. But when after they do it up, the paint job, everything is done up, you can sell easily 40, 50, and people still buy it.
Wow. Pajeros. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Okay.
if you
Yeah.
go to, I have a friend that is in this fashion line, and that was the pub that you shared with me in PJ next to Columbia Hospital.
I share a pop with you.
No, the location of the pub. What's that place called in PJ where it's all Harley Davidson and all?
Gasket Alley.
Gasket Alley. So if you look in front of Gasket Alley, it's all parked there.
Right.
Yeah. So those are the people that really put in a lot of effort in looking for that right. When you lock the car last time, it's the stick one. They need to look for that part just to replace that part, replace the rubber around. Even old Mercedes Benz,
Right.
like the Masterpiece series. I think a lot of people buy old ones, refurbish it, and sell for a profit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
So in the US, one of my friend bought a vintage car for like 100 something K, and then fix it up with another 100 something K. Apparently, it took 5 years to fix it up because the parts are so difficult to source. They had to source from like Italy or like Germany or something like that. And once you fix up, the car can sell for 400K to 500K, and this is apparently one of the lowest value too, which is insane. Because I always had this idea that the moment you drive off the lot, the car loses money. I think it really depends on what car you buy,
Yep.
right? And it depends on what's the strategy, which is you don't know what you don't know, really, right? So,
Then another
John,
crazy story to share, right? Before John, right? There's
yeah.
this model of, I think it's the 911 by Porsche.
Oh
So
yes,
there's this certain model that my friend got. It's actually the neighbor lah. So a neighbor friend he got. Then because it took so long for the car to come in, so apparently it needs like 9 months to a year. But he got it first. Then when he just got the keys, another buyer is willing to pay more than what he paid for the car
just to get the car first.
just to get a car first.
So it's like an iPhone situation, yeah. Instead of lining up, you pay a few $100s more just to get the iPhone first before your friends does.
Yeah. So then he suddenly he made half a car then he would just wait another 6 months for his new car.
He
lah.
made half a car.
Yeah.
That's the premium. Oh my goodness.
Which I don't understand as well. So to him, it's like, oh, you gotta really protect, and it's a Porsche, it's not a car. Okay, whatever. But yeah.
Well, what I like about Porsche 911 is that the look doesn't change. So you can get an old one, like a really old one, and well, if you like if you're a car guy, you can get a really old one and it still look good. As long as you don't look into interior, I think everything is good, right? But like because John was saying that the car, when he was starting his career, car was used to open up conversations, open up doors, right? Getting your foot through the door.